Team Janners, what's happening? So, I did a video a few days ago about how to survive in a minimum wage job. And the reason I did the video was because I worked as a chef for years, from the ages of 16 to 27, 28. I absolutely hated it. I was earning very bad money. And the reason I did the video was to help people that if you are on a low income, the tips that I used to try and save money. All the time I was working in those jobs, I was never in debt. I never had a credit card and I managed to survive. So I thought by sharing my experiences, would help people. Now, my page on YouTube has got over 4,000 subscribers now. The majority of people did like the video. It's had nearly 1,000 views, so thank you everyone who did watch it and leave a comment. But sadly, it also attracted attention of a lot of trolls. I had several people writing comments saying that I was a bad influence and I was a loser and I had no ambition and I shouldn't have stayed in a job for that long and I should have just got a better job. Well, yeah, that's great, and I had thought of that myself, believe it or not. All the time I was in catering, I did try to get jobs multiple times, but as I didn't have any office skills, or I'd never, didn't know how to use a computer, that was a big mark against me. Also, I looked at going back to college, but because I worked evenings and weekends, I couldn't do any evening classes because the company I work for wouldn't allow me to have the time off. Now, when you work in any job such as catering, you're a waitress, you're an NHS porter, or you do any kind of shift work, it is very easy to get stuck in a rut. People don't realise, but when you do those kind of jobs, it makes going back to college very difficult. I know nowadays you've got courses online, which is a great thing, but bear in mind, when I left school in 1995, we didn't have all those things. And if I'd known how bad the money was in catering, I would never have gone into it. When I left school, you kind of chose a career, but no one actually sat down and said to you, okay, like, this is what you're going to earn, this is the cost of living, this is how much you'll earn in 5 years' time. There was none of that. Bear in mind, this was, in the days before we all had smartphones and the internet wasn't very popular. Nowadays, thanks to, a phone, you can find out any information you want at a touch of a button within a few seconds. But unfortunately, when I left school, we didn't have that. So you kind of chose a career and then that was it, you did it and that was it, that was your life. Now, I've got massive respect for people, that do, sort of lower paid jobs, because I know how hard they are. People that work on the bins, for the NHS, cleaners, they're all a vital part of society. I do not believe anyone should look down their nose at them, because without those jobs, society would fall apart. They're a crucial part of our, employment world. But the trouble is when people say, oh, we'll just get a better paid job, those lower jobs still have to be, low paid jobs still have to be filled, and someone still has to do them. Now, I've never turned down my nose, at anyone who does a cleaning job. I did it when I left school. I had to, just to survive. And, those jobs still have to, be filled by people. So it's not always a case of just getting a better paid job. Yes, if that was the case, no one would do those jobs in the first place, but they still have to be done. So, I do feel sorry for people that, are in lower paid jobs. I know how difficult it is. And if my video, did help at least one person try and manage their money a bit better, or, make some positive changes in their life, then to me it's been worth it. So, I know what it's like, when you do. And also you've got to remember, when you do get older and, especially if you've got a mortgage or high rent or you have children, you can't just walk out of a job. When you live at home with your parents and haven't got many outgoings, that's fine, you can often do that, but you've got to remember, some people have, big bills to pay, they've got a big mortgage, or, they've got a lot of responsibilities. Sometimes just walking out of a job or changing a job just like that, it isn't an option for a lot of people. So I just thought I'd say, don't be judgmental of people if they are stuck in a rut. I know exactly what it's like, because I got trapped in catering and it was horrible. Thankfully, at the age of 28, I did get out. I made a conscious decision that I was never going to work in a kitchen again. I saved up enough to cover myself for about 4 months. And I just spent every, day, applying for, dozens of different jobs until I got one that I wanted. And I was, fortunate enough that I managed to get out. I don't ever regret, I left to be cabin crew, which, was the best thing I ever did. It was, the best, decision I ever made. But again, I had people at work telling me, oh, don't leave, your money's not that bad, you earn £12,000 a year, it's, if you go somewhere else, you might not like it. But you can't, think what if, because I had no career prospects there. I hated my job, I was never going to earn good money, so staying there would have just been, a really bad idea. So if you are, in a bad place and you do want to change jobs, I totally support you and I understand what it's like. But just remember, you know, just keep trying. There are options, and there's a lot more options out there now than, you know, when I was trying to change careers sort of, you know, 18 years ago. So just keep trying, you know, go to your local library, talk to, you know, your council. You know, there's lots of government funded courses you can do, and there's a lot more help available now. So, you know, doing it now would probably be much easier than it was, you know, when I tried to change. So yeah, if my video has helped you, then, you know, that's great. I really hope it has. But, you know, just because you do a low paid job, it doesn't mean you're a loser. It doesn't make you a bad person. You know, we've all got different life experiences. You know, not all of us are rich enough to go to university. We haven't all got 20,000 we can just, you know, spend on a degree. So, you know, if you are unhappy, just keep looking. There are options out there for you. And, you know, don't listen to negative people, because, you know, they're not you. They don't know your story. And, you know, just keep trying. You know, eventually something better will come your way, I promise.